the station that's on your side. This is News 12, first at 5.
Good evening. Georgia just reaching the lowest unemployment rate in state history, 3.1%. And here at home, the new Generac company coming to the river region represents a $550 million investment, creating 1,200 new jobs.
That is a lot of jobs for our area, and that's just one of the new businesses coming to town. Our Sloan O'Cone talked to the Economic Development Partnership about the boost this is giving our local economy.
There's always room for improvement in the workforce, especially in our growing river region. More companies, jobs, people, and money. But there will always be some holes in the local economy. Problems with people retiring early, lack of skills, worker shortage, all caused by different disadvantages.
Women in our area, childcare is a very critical part of a family if both parents are working or if someone's a single parent.
Will Williams says economic development is a lot like gardening. You have to plant, wait to harvest, then get the soil ready to do it again next year. All of it takes time and is a big investment.
I would say we've probably seen a $50 to $60 million influx of revenue into the Aiken and Edgefield area in the last 11 months.
The SC Economic Development Partnership has announced more than $500 million in capital investment in 1,200 new jobs this year. But it's not something we see right away.
Things aren't as immediate, the actual impact. I mean, the big splash happens, you read about it in the paper, oh, that's awesome.
It will take a year or two before the rest of us see the impact. In Aiken, Sloan O'Cone, on your side.
It's not just job growth here. Georgia Labor Commissioner Mark Butler says the state has gained back 90% of the jobs that it lost during the pandemic.
That is a lot of momentum, and it's, of course, good to see the brick and mortar happening here with new jobs coming to this area.
Yep.
Much more news ahead. Let's check the weather. Thanks a lot, Riley. Crews are back out at Rocky Creek again today, where they say they found and removed the source of that foul-smelling chemical that got into the water supply yesterday. Yesterday, people living in the area told to stay indoors after they found dozens of dead fish in that creek.
And the smell was just so strong. If that area doesn't sound familiar, maybe this will help. It happened here along North Leg Road near the Richmond County Environmental Office, not too far from Gordon Highway. Georgia DNR says somewhere between 100 to 150 fish were found dead in the creek. State officials are still trying to figure out what exactly got into the water, but they say the source of the substance has been removed. Today, they had heavy excavation equipment out there trying to remove contaminated soil from that area. Authorities think the chemical is some kind of petroleum-based product that made its way into the creek.
Another big day at the courthouse in Brunswick, where
and a lot of people, all eyes on Brunswick right now. Yesterday, a Memphis-based rapper known as Young Dolph was shot and killed at a cookie shop in his hometown. Police still haven't named any suspects, but they do believe 2 gunmen were the ones behind this. The 36-year-old was in town this week to visit his aunt, who has cancer, and to hand out food. Just last week, the cookie shop posted a video of the rapper on Instagram saying he always visits when he's back in Memphis, where he was raised. He's known for giving back to his community.
Young Dolph shot a free show. He paid for everything. He paid for artists to come out when he coming up artists. I appreciate everything he done for the hood.
On Monday, the rapper was at the West Cancer Center outside of Memphis with another artist giving away 200 Thanksgiving turkeys. FBI agents in Atlanta want to...
you're watching News 12 on your side.
From the station that's on your side, News 12, first at 5, continues.
Georgia has just reached the lowest unemployment rate in state history at 3.1%. And here at home, the new Generac company coming to the river region represents a $550 million investment.
It was big news that we covered in detail last half hour. $124 million up for grabs for students right now in South Carolina. Governor McMaster set aside funds from the American Rescue Plan for technical college scholarships.
But this is not your average scholarship money. The plan is to use this money to address an even bigger problem. Our Celeste Springer joins us now live in the newsroom.
So that's a lot of money for those students, but why now?
About it, and I'm kind of tired of hearing about it. Employers are tired of living it. It's what this scholarship money is meant to address the gap between skilled jobs available and skilled laborers to fill them. This scholarship money is open to pretty much any student enrolling in a South Carolina technical college, but they have to be taking courses in select areas like healthcare, construction, or manufacturing. We're told most of the programs at Aiken Tech fall into these covered areas, and their vice president tells us getting this type of education is rarely something someone regrets.
They never regret it. What they typically regret often would be high student loan debt. And so now we have an absolute positive, which is continued higher education, and we have the financial backing so that students can avoid loans.
Coming up at 6 o'clock, I'm working on a story hearing from one Aiken Tech student about what this money would mean to her. And if you're in the same boat and want information on how to apply, we've got that coming up in the next half hour as well.
Important money for a lot of local families. Celeste, thank you. Hundreds of local high school students competing at the Georgia-Carolina Fairgrounds today. Not your typical sporting event or even a spelling bee, but this is a battle of trade skills. Students put to the test in areas like welding, electrical, carpentry. The event is one of 7 across the state, meant to get these students interested in all kinds of fields. Local businesses serving as judges for this work, but they're hoping a bigger prize than a trophy will be a lifelong career.
Our industry right now is seeing 4 people leave and only 1 person entering it. We have a lot of retirement, a little aging out of our industry. So we have to get more people to enter our industry, particularly in the skilled trades.
It's time for us to really step up and make a difference and get these kids energized within our industry. It's up to us to make that happen.
And the same thing's happening in a lot of trades. Winners will go on to compete in a regional competition that comes around in January.
And it looks like a lot of fun. Wanting to take a look outside now with our first alert, Chief Meteorologist
Next several days, we'll have that in the full forecast coming up.
Thank you, Riley. Crews have been back out at Rocky Creek today cleaning up a chemical spill that made its way into the water there. Yesterday, neighbors in the area reporting smelling gas. DNR says more than 100 fish were found dead in that creek. If you're not familiar with that area, Rocky Creek runs right along North Leg Road, not too far off of Gordon Highway, but the spill happened closer to the Richmond County Environmental Office. The state took over that investigation into exactly what spilled into the creek. Officials not 100% sure what the substance is. They believe it's some kind of petroleum-based substance. The district manager for the state's Environmental Protection Division says they're not worried about any long-term damage to the environment there, but it's not clear if all of this was an accident.
outside the courtroom in Brunswick, meanwhile, between Jones and the deputies.
1506, how far step it up?
He's still in there. Forget about it.
Wow, some wild video out of Atlanta this week. Police saving a man from a burning car after the driver crashed into houses and a tree. Look at that. The body cam footage was posted to the Atlanta PD Facebook page, and just you can see the heroism of that officer working. And I mean, you had no time to get him out of there before this thing could have exploded.
Very dangerous situation right here. 100 people gathered on Capitol Hill today. They were highlighting.
That's 999-9999.
You're watching News 12 on your side.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Tracing the source. Cleanup continues tonight at Rocky Creek after a chemical spill filling the air with a foul smell and killing more than 100 fish. Today, crews spent the day digging up soil in the area that might be contaminated.
Going to show you some drone video from over this lot where they were digging off North Leg Road. This is owned by MDA Trucking of Augusta. We're just going to give you a better idea now of how and where that is. So here's a map showing you exactly this area we're talking about. You can see Rocky Creek is where the chemical spilled. It runs right through here, but the digging was done actually across the way here off North Leg Road near Commerce Drive. That's where crews were removing soil right across the street there, and that's where we find News 12's Will Rio with a closer look at this cleanup.
Crews have been working to get this spill under control all day now. You can see right here behind me, they're using a vacuum truck here to suck up that unknown substance. The Savannah Riverkeeper says this isn't the first time this river has had issues. Contractors like these guys are the cleanup crew. They use this giant vacuum truck to suck up all the gas-like substance from Rocky Creek.
This would be on the large size for us.
Jeff Darley with the Environmental Protection Division says his agency is still trying to find out what happened.
We're still looking into the actual cause and what the material is. Still have not confirmed the substance. We believe it's a petroleum substance, but that's about all we know.
They believe it all started upstream, right off this tractor-trailer lot. Crews began digging out the harmful soil to test it.
There's no confirmed harm at this time.
That testing could cost the state or the person responsible thousands of dollars.
Well, we hope that there are no fines involved, but if the investigation determines there was deliberate action, then yeah, our agency has the ability to fine.
The Savannah River Keeper says this creek has seen its fair share of issues.
It's an urban creek that unfortunately has taken a number of hits through the years.
She's seen issues with oil and white paint being washed into the exact same creek.
Right now, Rocky Creek is listed as impaired for the state of Georgia, so it is known as a creek that needs to be restored and rehabilitated.
She says her organization will continue to educate the community and show that every waterway has a purpose.
We still have a lot of work to do to make sure that our community understands that you can't just rinse all of this stuff into the creek because it is affected now, more than a mile downstream, and that's a problem.
In Augusta, Wrdw on your side.
And we appreciate Will for bringing us that, and love the drone footage to give us a better idea of where this area is.
Right, the bird's eye view. And crews tell us cleanup should only take a few more days. They say don't expect it to drag too far into next week, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
Okay, much more news to come, but right now let's talk. Huge crowd today in Brunswick. As far as the trial, the judge will now meet with those lawyers tomorrow to go over final instructions for the jury before closing arguments can begin on Monday.
Putting their skills to the test today, construction students from 12 local high schools got to compete head-to-head, showcasing their talents. It's called the East Georgia Workforce Development Alliance Skills Challenge. Students competed in categories like carpentry, welding, and plumbing. Winners go on to compete in the Regional Skills USA event in January. The next step after that is the state skills competition in February and then the Georgia World Congress Center. So good luck to all of those young men and women.
In South Carolina, a new initiative sending more than $100 million to the state's technical schools.
That includes Aiken Tech, where the money will go to students in high-demand fields like construction, manufacturing, and healthcare. News 12 Celeste Springer explains what one local nursing student says this scholarship means to her.
Well, this is a list of all the programs that qualify for this scholarship money. It ranges a lot. We have welding here, there's computer science related stuff, a lot of medical or nursing related degrees and certificates, even HVAC certificates. If you've been delaying continuing your education, I'm told now is the time to do it. I spoke with one local tech college student who says she's happy to get in line. Grace Adelis is hoping she'll be one of the roughly 15,000 students to get scholarship money through Governor McMaster's new Workforce Scholarship Program.
It's really a great opportunity for people and for students like me, because the more your burden's going to be lessened, the more encouraged you are to go to school.
Getting here wasn't easy. An immigrant from the Philippines, her story back home empowered her to go into nursing.
My sister, she died for chronic kidney disease. She wasn't able to go to the hospital. She's scared to get dialysis, and she died.
Nursing is just one of the many programs with money up for grabs. We're told most of the programs at Aiken Tech apply for the new scholarship funds.
After we apply other aid, then we will apply this funding, which on average will save an Aiken Technical College student about $2,000 if they take a full load.
Big picture, scholarships to hit the classroom here are meant to help a larger issue.
We have what many refer to as a skills gap in South Carolina. So we have high wage, high demand jobs, and we don't have enough people to fill those jobs.
Paving the way for people to get hands-on training. People like Grace, who's doing it all in memory of her sister.
Now I'm working in dialysis, so I want to be a dialysis nurse and would be able to educate people about the importance of health.
So those dollars, that education, is turning the page on something bigger than a labor shortage. There are some prereqs to be able to qualify. While in school, you must have a 2.0 GPA or higher, and you must be either, and we'll have this all posted on our website, you must be either employed or take a financial literacy class at your school, or finally, you have to complete 100 hours of community service. And again, if you're interested in getting started, we're going to have all of this posted on our website for you to apply at wrdw.com.
Just into our newsroom, some breaking news out of Columbia County where a man faces up to life in prison. Just into our newsroom, some breaking news out of Columbia County where a man faces up to life in prison for charges related to a child sex trafficking case. 36-year-old Michael Peyton Gunn of Evans just found guilty of 9 felony counts. He faces a minimum of 15 years in prison, but could face life in prison.
New retail space is coming to Evans Town Center. Check out the plans for the new development right off Ronald Reagan Drive. Goat Kick Coffee Company is the first business to claim its spot. But as you can see, there is room for new stores and also new restaurants too. We'll keep you posted. The Gingerbread Village now open over at the Augusta Museum of History. All of the houses you see are modeled after historic buildings and landmarks across the two-state. Check out this one of the Olive Road Bridge,
That's
which
perfect.
is, yes.
With a truck wedged under
Of
it.
course, per
Nice
usual.
touch. Santa knows better than that, though. He's seen that before. The museum wants you to stop by and cast a vote for your favorite. They're going to be on display until November the 28th. Very creative work over at the Augusta Museum of History. Starting Monday, we're going to start to see Christmas trees like these popping up inside our local Walmart stores. If you spot one, it's one of the Salvation Army's angel trees. Don't just walk by it.
The idea is to take a tag from the tree. It'll have a child's name on it and a list of gifts that they want for Christmas.
The Salvation Army has 800 angels they want to see the community adopt this year. Zana Halliburton takes a look at how these trees can make the holidays a lot brighter.
Some people may walk by angel trees and think nothing of it, but if you take the time to read what's on it, you'll realize it's not just an ordinary tree.
There are many families who are working hard but still can't necessarily provide for their children, and so it's a great thing to be able to come and pick a tag off the tree and go and shop for that child, as well as, you know, even take your own children and teach the importance of what the season's about charity and hope.
800 names of local kids are on the trees this year, and you can grab as many as you want.
Christmas truly is about hope, you know, and giving people hope. And so I am grateful to get to do that. Is it busy? Is it tiring? Absolutely. Is it worth it? Yes. 100 times yes.
The Salvation Army is also looking for volunteers to help as the gifts people get for the kids roll in.
As the gifts come in, as donors pick off the tag and they go and shop and the gifts come in, for us to help sort them into the boxes for each family, and that's a big task as well.
He says once the gifts are delivered, the joy on families' faces are priceless.
Every so often you get one who, when you hand them their stuff, they just start weeping with joy because they weren't sure how they were going to be able to provide Christmas.
The Salvation Army just kicked off their Red Kettle campaign and are still looking for volunteers to fill 6,400 hours of bell ringing this holiday season.
And it's nice to stand outside, ring a bell, tell people Merry Christmas as they walk by, and it's just a great time.
Reporting in Augusta, Zana Halliburton on your side.
If you want to adopt an angel, trees will go up Monday at local Walmart. You can also head over to the Croc Center on Broad Street.
And the goal is to have all those gifts ready to go by December the 10th. To find out more, just search Salvation Army on our website, wrdw.com. Still to come here on News 12 at 6 o'clock, keeping that holiday